Yo everyone, Wagwan. So we're back at it again today with Mushoku Tensei, and I know when it comes on to season 1, or when it came on to season 1, I did probably a maximum of about 4 or 5 videos when it came on to this series, but yo, honestly, if it's even this episode alone, I have to do a reaction review for it because yo, I really love this series, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I remember getting into it and I know it had the whole, of course it's an isekai, and you know it had that pervy side of it when we just started with episode 1 in season 1, but this series honestly quickly developed into something more. Now I know in terms of like the light novel community and all of that, it's well received, but as a person who got into Mushoku Tensei through the anime, like in terms of how I absorbed the story, like the story quickly turned into something more than that, you know, the superficial, oh, new world, I'm OP, get all the girls, yada 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 yada. And honestly, even the way that the animation studio has put it together so far, between, or even just coming from the source material, between, you know, the world building, the lore, and with the anime, like the music choice, and just how it kind of gives this if it kind of gives this effect or impression of this grand expansive world that really immerses you into the story, you know, just it really immerses you into the content. I really love it, and it kind of plays on, I'm not gonna really say it's like that, not that the story doesn't have heart, but it's not the same as like how I would describe Demon Slayer per se, but there's just something very, okay, for lack of a better term, there's something very visceral about watching, you know, Mushoku Tensei. There's just something, it's just a certain beauty in taking it all in. But anyway, it's time to get into this. I need to see what this episode has to offer. I've been hearing nothing but great things about it. So yeah, of course, leave a like, let me know your thoughts on this episode and your thoughts on Mushoku Tensei overall. But without further ado, friendly neighborhood Uchiha here. Let's get into it.
風情がありませんわね。
I must say, the way this feels so far, like they're really developing it and showing us from a different perspective, probably from some events that probably simultaneously happened during season 1. It kind of feels like that. So this man just standing in front of this board? Wait, I'm confused. I'm sure that was Sylphy, but why is her hair a different color now? Hold on, did I miss something? Alright, so I went back and I realized that her hair color changed. Not sure why, but magic. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. New hair color, the glasses, new attire, it's looking real fresh on her. Honestly, you would never even imagine this is really season 2. Like, it doesn't feel like a traditional, you know, season 2, so to speak, which I find is very interesting.
聖妃の血を引く高貴な妹君は最近になって木の実がたっぷりと乗った豪勢なケーキの魅力に目覚めたと聞き及んだのだが、
何をおっしゃいますのお兄様。そんなケーキ、私のような未熟者にはまだ似合いませんわ。
あの綺麗な歌声を聞かせ
There must be some weird,
表舞台に立つのは
some subtext sexual implication that's going on there. It could be just me, but it seems that way.
歌う時だけで
から歌のリクエストがございましたもので。
さすがは我が妹。ブラボー。
Bro, like,
それでは皆さん改めて
I could be reading this wrong.
アスラ王国の輝 輝ける未来に
But you can tell that this family is just nuts.
相変わらずすごい人気ですねアリエル様
There's a level of fakeness there, bro. Like, are some kind of conspiring conspiracies or something going on between them?
そうだフィッツ今晩私の部屋に来なさい
Why this not so?
最近あなたは夢見が悪くうなされていると聞きます誰かと一緒に寝れば和らぐのでは、でもルークなんとか言ってよ
いいじゃないか褒美と受け取っておけ
褒美って
Reward, they call it.
クーデターが起きかねない
So as
なかなか先見の明がある
I thought, a bit
どうもこうもありませんな
the
天下
infighting.
の敵と
一緒に寝るだけですよね
I have to be asking the same thing.
目が怖い確かに
Same thing.
私興奮していますがさあママも知ってるでしょ僕は知ってます
I guess this is what we're here for.
あなたにも私を知ってもら
Oh. Okay. And it's just a silence that, well, it is an assassin, so you'd expect it to be silent like that. Like in the music. Not the type of assassin I would have pictured, but yo. That angle was weird. Cause alright, she's laying down. She's going for the stab. Did she kick? Is it her hand? Did she pierce her with her hand like this? Well, either way you take it, she did.
身である家族や友人を探し出すこともでき
So yeah, tell me some do all of this for
力が
nothing.
ないばかりにないよ
Sylphy with the wholesomeness, gotta love it. And these glasses are too fresh to give up,
今度は
fam,
自
to be
分の意
honest.
志で
So there we have it, episode 0, Guardian Fits. And I hope you guys enjoyed the little snippets of my, you know, reaction or the reactions that I had to this episode, which I know, like, getting into this season of Mushoku Tensei, like, I could, well, if you're not a big Mushoku Tensei fan, but you probably watched all of season 1 just for watching sake, I could potentially see some persons not necessarily enjoying this episode based on what they were probably expecting going into this second season. But even though it wasn't like, say, a hype episode or yo, me not bust out sun breathing or, or something wild like that, it's still an awesome episode because of the intention and the decision of the team to actually market and put this as episode 0 instead of episode 1, because in the grand scheme of things, Sylphy is obviously going to be a major part, a major aspect when it comes on to this second season. But at the same time, given the expansive nature of Mushoku Tensei in the grand scheme of things, you have so many different aspects going on in this kingdom there, characters there, characters who know our main character there, and there. I thought it was important, and obviously the team at the studio did too, but it was important to actually tell the story of what Sylphy was doing, and I would imagine this was simultaneously as certain events were going on in season 1, because given the the incident, the disaster that happened that destroyed Fitoa and the village and everything, obviously we didn't see what happened to every character, and of course Rudeus is looking for a number of his, family members, friends, etc., etc. So I thought it was a good decision to actually show this, and it kind of plays along that line due to the expansive nature of this universe or this show. It kind of plays that part. It's like, okay, you have this aspect of the universe there, and you have this aspect of the universe there, and even though this was a more slower pace episode, so to speak, telling Sylphy's story and eventually getting to the point where different aspects of the universe are going to intersect or come back together, kind of pinch off piece here, and we kind of join back the chain here. It's going to make the reward, or the build up for that certain payoff of certain characters meeting again, all the better. And of course, this episode, I would imagine, if you were to say, going to season 2 without watching this episode and just started at episode 1, I firmly believe this is a logical guess is that this episode is going to fill in or give much needed context for Sylphy's relationship or dynamic with Luke and Ariel here, and just make any potential payoff that much more better for the audience members, and of course it makes things much more engaging because you have an idea of where these characters are coming from going into season 2 for the most part. So definitely, I would say from a narrative standpoint, in terms of the decision to make this episode 0 and kind of have it as like the foundation for characters who will be playing a major role in this season, I thought it was a good move. It's not like the craziest, most exciting episode ever, but once you kind of get past those potential superficial needs for probably like the big lights and excitement and thing, it's actually a solid episode, and I can't complain about it. Man, we did get a little action with Sylphy versus the assassin there. The animation wasn't looking bad at all. I'm not gonna lie, looking very clean. Just as we had it in season 1. No complaints there. Love that. I'm interested in seeing where things are gonna go with Sylphy and Ariel and how they may eventually link up back with Rudeus. And it's interesting because this is an episode that doesn't really feature Rudeus at all. Like, even though it's episode 0, you still might be forgiven for finding it odd that, where's Rudeus? It kind of feels like such an odd start to like a season 2, right? But given, again, the nature of this whole universe, making these intentional steps to establish context and foundation for certain characters, I thought was an neat and awesome move. And even with this episode, like, obviously there's a lot going on in this kingdom of Asura. Of course, Ariel infighting in her family and all of that, and we've seen things like this before. It seems that the Greyrats kind of seem like things are a bit iffy in some cases with them too, or maybe I'm not remembering properly, but I kind of vaguely remember that being the case. So I guess the cliche, royal family, family members supposedly fighting for the throne, etc., etc. So yeah. But Ariel, nothing revolutionary, but at least they gave us enough to say, okay, we have some interest there in the character and see where she's going in terms of herself as a character and her dynamic and relationship with Luke and Sylphy. We have a next interesting group building, especially after we had one group at the end of season 1 breakup. We got some investment in this new group, so interested to see where they're going to go. So yeah, honestly, I can't complain. It's a nice start, and I'm looking forward to the first episode, episode 1 at least, when it comes on to this season. So I would imagine we'll see Rudeus in that episode and more of Fitz. Fitz. Guardian Fitz. But anyway, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you thought about Mushoku Tensei and this episode 0. So yeah, Sandra Uchiha here, people. Let me know if there's anything I missed. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Of course, subscribe and leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.